Hey, welcome to Creative Blog. We're your hosts, V.
And Sean, aka Lord Spew. We talk shop with other creatives in animation and comics about things like finding your artistic path or the process of making art while we draw together.
We asked people on our social medias if they had specific topics they want us to discuss, as well as some drawing prompts. If you haven't yet, you can check out our Patreon and subscribe to our channel.
Today we have with us Jesse Moynihan. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
This is my second time interviewing Jesse. So you already know I'm about to be good at this. We already rehearsed everything. It's all scripted ahead of time.
Yeah, we did this. We did a Twitch stream or something before, you and I.
Yeah, it was live. So this is this is probably going to be less nerve-wracking for you too,
right?
Because we were performing before.
Yeah, I did feel nervous about performing, especially drawing live.
Yeah, I felt scared too.
Yeah,
I was talking to the Jesse Moynihan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many things to talk about, but we've gotten a couple of questions from our listeners about Jesus too, and I was like,
okay.
You know what?
We're putting our listeners first this time for once.
For once, let's I want to, and also it's a cool thing to talk about because it's a project you funded entirely yourself, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
pretty much.
Tell us a little bit about it, how long is it? How would you describe it? What kind of
pitch it to us.
Pitch it to us.
I'm an executive.
Well,
I have huge shoulder pads on a suit.
Yeah. I've seen a new trend in fancy dress. Have you seen this with really, really, really tall, exaggerated shoulder pads? Have you seen that?
I love it, dude. It's like they're like wearing football shoulder pads or something.
Yeah,
so picture
like bigger
picture
than
me
that.
wearing one of those. Picture me wide as hell. I'm just a square you're pitching to.
Yeah.
And what is that? How do you pitch your thing to us?
Well, okay, so actually, funny enough, I did pitch it to Netflix probably 5 years ago. When did Midnight Gospel wrap? In 2019, something like that.
Yeah, because it was before the pandemic. Because it came out during the pandemic.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It came out.
Time flies when you're having an existential breakdown and locked in and your career is going out the window.
So right before that happened, after Midnight Gospel wrapped, I talked to the executives of Midnight Gospel. That was Elizabeth Porter and Michael Moon. And I was riding high on big confidence because I was like, hey, we made this thing that I didn't think the whole time. I was like, I don't think this is going to see the light of day. And then it got made, and then people seemed to be into it. So then I said, okay, maybe there's a window here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go pitch them a thing I've been thinking about for probably years before that. Actually, okay, even further back, it was a thing I pitched at Cartoon Network.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was called Smuggle Brothers back then.
Oh, that's right. I remember that because you were posting about that on your blog.
Yeah, right? Probably. Yeah. Yes. So
Did you say smuggle or snuggle?
Smuggle, like smuggling stuff.
I'm assuming they gave you the note, like, we'd like to change this to snuggle. Smuggling is a crime.
Well, I have said Snuggle Brothers before, I've flopped it around sometimes, but I'm like, that's kind of a nice, Snuggle Brothers. That's nice.
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense thematically for what it was about.
True, okay.
So originally, not to give a super long-winded story about this, but originally it was a thing after I had been in development on this short called Manly for a long time that went nowhere.
That was for Adult Swim, right?
No, that was for Frederator, Frederator's YouTube channel. I made a short with my brother called Manly that you can look up on YouTube. It's still there.
That's crazy. I thought it was on Adult Swim for some reason because I remember watching that. That came out a while ago.
That was 2014.
2014. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Are you a twin?
No, my brother is 2 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've seen your brother and you look very similar.
Yeah, we look similar. Less similar now that we're getting older, but we've sort of differentiated.
You're diverging.
Yeah, we're diverging in our elderly states. But I had a meeting with a Cartoon Network somebody in development, and they said to me, just come up with any old idea. Like, and this was after Manly sort of had been greenlit for a series, and then everything fell through, and blah blah blah. Like the company that was going to greenlight us got bought out by AT&T, and same old story for everybody. But everything falls through unless something you get really close. And anyway, I was pretty upset about that because I had put so much energy and creativity into it, and hopes and dreams. And then I was like, I'll take this meeting with this executive, and they were like, just come up with any. Now my memory of it is not what she actually said, but
Oh,
in my memory, like you know how your brain creates stories for yourself.
yes, I'm obsessed about that topic, by the way. So yes, I know. Yeah,
So in my
yeah.
personal story of like how I interpreted this conversation, she was like, just come up with any bullshit. Who gives a shit? It's garbage.
That's
And you're like, why is she
great.
cursing so much in my memory?
But that's not what she said, but that's how I interpreted it.
Did you know what she actually said? Now I'm curious
She
if
was
you
just
have
like,
like.
come up with some of my 3 ideas and pitch them to me.
Okay, that's really
But in my
funny. That's
head, I was
very
like,
funny.
come up with shit. We don't care how good it is. It can be complete garbo, you know?
That's so funny. I mean,
Just bullshit to us. Improv, three
It's
ideas.
not
Just
real.
pull
It's
them out.
not art.
Yeah.
It's
it's
just fucking.
a part of it. I mean, a part of it is kind of
It's just
true.
Lunchables.
Lunchable. You don't want to. I don't know. We could talk about like pitching a little bit more, I
Yeah.
guess, later. But I feel like there is a part of pitching where it's like you don't want to do something too crazy or out there. Like you
Right.
want to kind of come up with something that like anybody can watch, and it's not that
Right.
complex, not that complicated.
I don't
So
know if that stopped Jesse from pitching wild stuff, though.
no, it
Yeah,
never.
I don't know how much you're
It
thinking
never
about
stopped. It never stopped me, and it's been always a source of insane
that.
resentment.
Like it's gonna look like we dove headfirst into a rainbow or
Yeah.
something, like.
It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be whatever I feel. Well, so what happened was after that conversation, I went home and I got so depressed, thinking about having to come up with some bullshit that I didn't care about, and then I got
Yeah,
so
make sure you don't
depressed.
care about it. She said
Yeah,
that too
yeah.
in the
She
conversation.
explicitly said, make sure it's not something you give a shit about at all.
Oh no.
hmm
So then I got so sad, I fell asleep on the couch. And then I took a nap. And in the nap, I had a dream. And I dreamt that about Smuggle Brothers. I dreamt that there were these two brothers flying in space, smuggling cargo like Han Solo and Chewbacca. And exactly like Han Solo and Chewbacca, except it was a yellow brother and a blue brother, right? And then I woke up and I was like, Sunday and Monday. It's just like Han Solo and Chewbacca. And then I wrote her an email the next day. I was like, hey, I've got this idea called Smuggle Brothers, Han Solo Chewbacca. And they were like, great. And then I felt so terrible inside.
Really?
And
Why? You felt terrible.
because I was like, this is the most bullshit.
You just came up with an idea from a dream and then
I
pitched
can't.
it.
Yeah, I
Basically.
came up with an idea from a depression nap. That was a rip off. That was a rip off of like one of the most famous, stories of our age.
That's
I mean, I've had crazy nap
Yeah.
experiences. I feel like sometimes that's a good place to mine an idea. One time I woke up from a nap and I was looking at the curtains, and then the curtains moved and it straight up like think costume store Dracula
Yeah.
poked his head out and went "Bah!" and then
That's funny.
and then put the curtain back, and I got up and screamed and ran all around my house checking all the curtains.
Wow.
And then I realized that the pizza guy was at the door, and that's what had woken me up, like he had knocked. But I saw a Dracula in my house.
That's crazy.
Did that inspire you to make a cartoon or anything?
Right now I'm making a cartoon about vampires. So
Okay.
I mean, maybe somewhere, maybe
Somewhere it stayed with you. Obviously, you've remembered that dream,
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I'm like, where he went? He was shy.
Oh yeah, so I pitched Smuggle Brothers, and they loved it or whatever at first, and it went into development for a year, and I had to figure out what it was actually
Mm.
about.
Yeah, the at first is some foreshadowing, I'm assuming. Like
Oh, yeah.
saying at first they left it at first is a little
I
bit of
think, the
foreshadowing, or
people involved in the day to day on it always supported. They were always
yeah,
super
yeah,
supportive, and they were
for
like,
sure.
figure
Mhm.
out how to make it good, blah blah blah. So over the course of the year, I went from thinking it was this bullshit idea to getting, digging in and finding stuff I liked about it, and then I made the storyboard, pitched it to the head of the studio. He didn't like it, and then it was just in the garbage for the next 5 years, just sitting in notebooks, um, with sketches and ideas and things. And you know, during the pandemic, I was just sitting around my house, and um, I saw my old notebooks, my old sketchbooks with all the drawings and paintings I did for it. And I thought about it. I was like, what about this? What about this Smuggle Brothers? Um, could I turn into something else? And actually, this was before this pandemic, because this is right after Midnight Gospel.
Mm.
And so I just kind of went into this creative fugue state. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it's kind of where my ideas come from
Yeah.
sometimes. And I created this character called Jesus 2. I just drew this green bean looking guy riding on a comet. And I was like, I didn't know what it was at first. And he was blasting rainbow, like confetti everywhere, like energy. And I saw it as being like reproductive fluid.
Ah, ah.
Okay,
But
that's
it
a,
was
a
like,
nice way to put that.
yeah, but it was like fluorescent rainbow spray, just
Mm-hmm.
like coming out of his pores, like a
Yeah.
sort of like pollen from a flower or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I don't know why, but I was like, that's Jesus. I don't know why. I was like, that's a green Jesus. And he's he's on a
Oh yeah.
comet. He's on a comet, and he won't let us die. He won't let anyone die.
He won't. He's there for a reason. He's on a comment for us.
Yeah, he's like, no one will ever die again. And I think because I had been hearing about all these billionaire people who were like working on all this life extension stuff,
Oh yeah.
and like that guy who drinks his son's blood and stuff like that, or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
so crazy.
Yeah.
I, you
Yeah.
know, listen, every time I tell myself I can't come up with that stuff. Like, I don't know. Like the
Yeah,
Yeah.
reality beats
yeah,
fiction
Well, there's that
every time.
interview where that old guy that like runs a drugstore or like a corner store
hmm
talks about like if you drink like like a 5-year-old's pee, it'll cure your illness. And like it was just this interview that this
yeah.
interviewer like stumbled into and like wasn't even going there, and all of a sudden like locked in and was like, what do you mean, what do you mean? And like he's like, everybody does it, you pass that knowledge down from grandfather to son. And then he was like,
There's no
wait,
way
hold
that's
on,
not a
what?
bit. Sometimes I'm like, maybe people are just bored and they just come up with random bits. I'm like, I gotta, like, maybe they're, like, he was rage baiting in real life. That's what I'm
I mean,
thinking.
it's possible. He looked really serious, like it was like an old wives' tale remedy handed
Uh,
down from. But yeah, I don't know. The it, I believe it. You drinking young people's blood, it probably makes you younger, huh?
Well, Mick Jagger does, like, or is it Keith Richards does, like, full body blood infusions every year from a young person
That's
or
cool.
something. He like
He takes one
replaced.
fan from off stage, and then in the green room,
Yeah, he
he's like,
just
"Let me."
swaps it out. He swaps out a full fresh tank.
how did that inspire you to draw Jesus too? Like, what's the connection there
I
between?
well, okay, so he's spraying out of this goo that covers the universe, and he can't. He like the goo, the magic goo is like a blessing upon everybody, or a curse,
Mm,
and no one can. It's like this magic formula that won't let
Mhm.
anyone die ever again. So their bodies are constantly regenerating.
mm,
And and so I was thinking about death because I was having all this panic. This is even before the pandemic. I was having like constant panic attacks about dying.
Really?
Yeah, and about and worrying about my friends dying, worrying about my parents dying, all this kind of stuff. So I was having these like not nightly, but a lot, like really kind of
Hmm.
Hmm.
worry, like deep, deep worry, so bad that I would like wake up screaming at night, just being like, like thinking about people disappearing. I couldn't handle it. And I was like, so I was like, okay, well, obviously there's something going on. Like I need to work this out. And the only way I know how to work stuff out really is through my stories and drawings and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I was like, I'll make a story about it. About almost like devil's advocate sort
Hmm.
of
Yeah.
what
Hmm.
actually what is the benefit, what are the benefits of a limited life span, rather than this idea of
Mm.
like this
Yeah,
vampire idea of living forever and stuff like that.
yeah. Like you can get away, like you can do something, and then, or like if your pants fall down in front of everybody,
Hmm.
you're gonna die someday, and people will forget that. And
Yeah,
that's nice.
if you never die, no one will ever let that go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone will
that's the only
remember
way.
always.
Yeah.
Have you ever played that game, Everhood? It's like an indie game on
No.
Steam. It's if you don't like to play like beat games or
Hmm.
like rhythm games, like you can watch a let's play, but I really enjoy the story. It has like thematically it's very it's tied to what you're talking about. Super
Oh,
cool.
okay. What's it
Mm-hmm.
called?
Everhood?
Everhood.
Oh
Okay.
wait,
Yeah.
I think I have played that.
It's like you're a little red mage made out of
Hmm.
wood, and you're like in this like dark on this dark background, and everything's kind of like neon psychedelic,
Hmm.
and you're basically in the afterlife where like everybody's like immortal, and you have
Oh.
to do like these little quests and like I'm not gonna reveal the end because there's a sort of a twist.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. I really enjoyed that came out during the pandemic as well, which is like
Mm.
everybody was feeling very spiritual in that time, I
Yeah.
guess.
Dude,
Um,
we got go.
oh, well, I pitched it to Michael Moon and Elizabeth Porter after
Hmm.
Midnight Gospel. But the thing is, I pitched it the way I just pitched it to you guys. I just kind of told them the philosophical underpinnings,
Yeah.
Right.
and then they asked me, they were like, these ideas are really cool. Um, and I literally was in there. I was like, I'm having panic attacks about dying, and I decided to make this green guy came into my vision, and I think he's Jesus. He's a reincarnation of Jesus, but I'm basing him on these like life extension billionaires or whatever. And they were like, but what are the characters like? And maybe I've told you this to you before, V. But I was like, yeah. They were like, but what are these characters like? What do they want? Then
Uh-huh.
what do they want?
to to be a to help everybody be
That's
immortal,
so
dude.
funny.
And
No.
I told them, I was like, I said in the meeting, I said, I'm not going to, I don't want to tell you. I don't want to,
Yeah, I don't want to tell you what they want. That's hilarious. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
What
That
were
dude,
you
that's a
just
crazy technique to
Yeah,
yeah.
just be mysterious
I
and
thought I was gonna like what do you call it, big dog them in the what I mean? That my strategy was like I'm gonna go in here and be the most like obscure and like see if I can just win them over through by being
You're
like
like a
like the
what's like a pickup artist kind of. You're
yeah,
like sort
but
of like negging
yes,
like you're
it's sort
them.
of
negging
like
them.
I was
Yeah.
like sort of trying to spiritually neg them basically, I think.
Oh
Or
my god. So you're hoping that three nights from now, Mike Moon's gonna be like lying awake in bed, like,
Like,
what are the
yeah,
characters like?
yeah. Why did
He won't tell me.
his art must be so important that he has to keep it locked away in a secret, or
oh
whatever or
my
something.
god.
But so I remember I was just like, I can't. If I said, I said, like, if I tell you what these characters are, it'll kill the characters for me. I won't. I don't want to.
That's okay. That's kind of interesting though that you bring this up because I
Yeah,
do feel like that is something that sometimes I don't want to figure out my characters too
yeah,
much because if I have them entirely figured out, then I lose interest
yeah.
in them.
Nobody actually knows. It's a lie. Pitching is a lie. Like nobody knows what their characters are but
Yeah.
like until season 2 of a show, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have the voice actor. You don't like you could
Yeah.
write their lines even, but like
yeah,
how they're gonna sound and act and like develop, like that's it's all guessing and trying
yeah,
to sell something. Like you're like a salesman
yeah,
selling what an idea could be.
right.
Yeah.
It's all sort of like false pretense in a way. Like, I mean, you can say these are my intentions, but
Yeah,
it really doesn't, like, if you're so clear on what your character is before you even start making it, I don't think you can make a good show. Like, I think you need to have that flexibility to
Mm-hmm.
let your characters grow and evolve into something that is actually interesting, because you don't really know how it plays. You have to see them in action to really know if
Yeah.
if they've got teeth, you know, if they've got
yeah.
presence.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's
Um,
hard to sell executives
yeah,
on because they're like, okay, we want to give you money to make this, but we don't. Your question mark, your character is a question mark, and you
yes.
won't tell us.
Yeah, for sure. It's a big ask. And but I was trying to big dog,
I love that.
because I had been in so many I had gone through all these pitches and developments and things like that, and playing the game and stuff, and it just went nowhere. So I was like, what if I do this other thing and I say, actually, just give me money and I will make, you know, I'll make a thing and it's going to be good. Basically was my, and they just
Yeah,
patted me on the back, and I never talked to them again.
Oh my God.
Although I did hear Mike Moon speak very nicely of me and recommend me for something like
that
recently.
Oh,
is nice
that's
though.
So,
Yeah,
sweet.
so that
he's
made me
very
be like,
mysterious.
yeah,
As
yeah,
long as you don't need to know what your characters are now,
yeah,
like you'll
yeah.
be great at this job. Yeah.
So, you know, so then I put that on the shelf until the pandemic, and then I really thought about it more, and then during that time when we were all stuck in our houses, I just made a animatic from
Mm.
by myself in my room, and it was a free association. Like, I made a storyboard. I was like, what would I want to see in this world? Just like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
sort of like my own.
Like selfishly, like I want this piece of art to exist no matter what happens, kind of thing. You mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Like, what would I, as an if I were, as you know, in didn't know about it, and I was, someone showed me, hey, check out this video. What would I want to watch? What would I want
Mm-hmm.
it? And it took place in this world. What would I want? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. What would excite me? So I just made a thing based on exciting, making myself feel excited.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the things that made you excited?
I think, like, showing scenes of being exposed to like forces beyond the material world. So, and depicting those things as being extremely like harsh. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's a scene where this character Monday is communing with an angel. He sits on this like black ball in this empty room, and then this angel like rips through the material world and comes out and then blasts him with this like energy and gives him a boon, you know, sort of like a Zelda kind of, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you
Hmm.
get like he gives him a grail or whatever. And I was trying to tap into that feeling I had when I was a kid. And I saw that. Did you ever see that John Borman movie, Excalibur?
Oh, I don't think I
It's like
have.
I
it's an
probably.
80s King Arthur movie. And
Hmm.
what's cool about that movie is that, well, one, the immediate thing is that everyone's armor is like glowing green the whole movie. Like, they're
That's cool.
they're shining like crazy neon green lights, kind of like how you look right now, Sean, like with the neon.
Thanks. You
If
really see me like that.
if you had armor on, it would be like, you know, glistening green, you
That
know.
is so flattering. Thank you.
But anyway, the whole movie is like that glistening green armor, and and there's a scene in it when, you know, in the story of King Arthur, there's a scene where the Camelot starts to go into decline, you know, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a scene where King Arthur is praying to God for help. He's like, I don't know what to do. Camelot's falling apart. Like, Lancelot cheated with my wife on me and stuff like, and he's like begging for help, and then God hits him with a lightning bolt through a window shaped like a cross, right?
Wow, dude, that is so you imagery. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like if there's any single piece of media that can sum up your art.
Yeah. So God hits him with lightning. It cracks his armor. It cracks his armor open, and he falls down the steps. And he's lying on the steps, and his chest is smoking with the armor split open. And when I was a kid, I saw that as a kid. It was on cable when I was like
Memory. Yeah.
6 years old or something. I saw that and I felt physically ill. I wanted to throw up. Because it was like,
what is that response?
What
is that response? Like,
it's
what
like anxiety. Right? I feel like, do you know how in movies people sometimes when they get super anxious they like throw up?
Yeah.
That's a real thing, right? People throw up when they get really scared or anxious.
Yeah, I think so. But for me, that feeling was more like I had a set idea about morality at that point in time and justice, this idea of justice, and that if you do good things, you get good things in return. And I also grew up religious, so like this idea that, God is watching you and all this kind of stuff. And then I saw that movie and I was like, there was no reason. It was like, no, you're fucked. Like, you know what I mean? You could do all the right things, and the ways of the universe are more mysterious than the human could comprehend. And maybe the forces of nature or like the universe or whatever are actually almost like sometimes indifferent, or even have a like disdain for your existence. And to me, that ends up later in life sort of lining up with some of my more like Gnostic inclinations or whatever, But at that time, I was like, I couldn't square this moment. I was like, who would make this story? What, because I had seen Disney's Sword in the Stone, right? And Disney's Sword in the Stone, everything. Yeah, there are like life lessons in Sword of the Stone that are like, oh, this is sort of like a tough life lesson about the changing of the seasons and loss of love and stuff like that. And like there's a whole thing about the squirrel, like he can't be, he becomes a squirrel and the other squirrel falls in love with him, but he's like, no, actually I'm a human, and she doesn't understand, and she gets her heart broken or whatever.
It's very sad.
Yeah, that's a good scene actually. Yeah, that's a good scene.
So there is stuff like that in Sword of the Stone is a good movie, but Excalibur like took that to the just and I wasn't ready for that sort of violence coming from like a moral authority archetypal, whatever. So to me, I was like, this can't. It was before I had seen violence in the real world. I saw it on TV, on cable. I saw this.
Yeah, and your first one is lightning coming through a window.
Yeah, it's the being that's supposed to be looking out for us is striking down one of the most iconic kings, of like virtue, whatever. In myth. So anyway, I wanted to evoke that. That's a long way of saying I wanted to evoke that feeling of horror.
I do think there's this shot in Jesus 2 where I don't know who this character is, but he's like in the very first shots and he's like, oh, I'm like done with life or whatever, and then I think is that okay to say on YouTube? It's probably okay to say on YouTube. He slits his wrists, but then like it like reforms, and I think about this shot a lot. I'm like, I was like, I mean, it looks cool, but I was also like, oh, that's a pretty true feeling to life. And I was like, okay.
I named that character after Antonio at Titmouse.
No way, that's crazy.
I gave him a French accent.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know if Antonio knows that.
Do you have a reason?
I just
I just want to shout out the homie.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout him out. I had this idea of like a French like an angry French guy sitting on the rooftop who's like sick of the world, and he's like a French caricature. He's just wearing, beret and.
That's funny because I forgot that he was French at all. I just remember, like, I was like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
cool scene. I was like, it's a cool scene.
Yeah, he's just like looking at the landscape, and he's trying to find a way out, basically. I just needed to be able to show really fast because I only had 8 minutes to work with about like
Yeah.
how the world works and
Mm-hmm.
how people want to die but can't, and so I
Mm-hmm.
had to do that really fast in a way that was clear.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Iconic.
it ends up being pretty, whatever, crude, I guess. But um, yeah, if I ever get to make more Jesus 2 stuff, maybe I'll be more subtle. I don't know. Yeah,
I
but I
don't
just
know. I feel like, well, the cool thing about imagery like that, which is very tricky to show, it's almost impossible to show on TV,
yes,
right? It's on even on streaming, probably impossible.
yeah.
But
I
the
showed
cool,
it on Adventure Time one time. I don't know how I got away with it.
really, wait, say the scene because I
There's
don't.
a scene in an episode called The Mountain,
Mm,
which is season 6 or something. There's a scene where the character Lemongrab, climbs up this mountain. He meets this character who's a combination of all these different cult members'
mhm.
consciousness, like combined into one entity. And then Lemongrab splits there's consciousness so that they divide back into their individual selves, and they are all having like crises about it. They didn't want to individualize again, and then the one guy just jumps off a cliff.
Ah,
He screams and just jumps off a cliff.
I
And I
think that
remember,
works because you don't actually see it,
yeah,
right?
but I
Yeah.
rewatched it recently. I was like, damn, like how did anyone let that go? I don't, that's
It's crazy.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
that's funny. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
just a little tip for anybody listening on how to circumvent the S&P loopholes in a Cartoon Network show. You just have to one way is to have them jump off a cliff, but you don't see what happens.
Right.
Ah,
I don't know. It's pretty obvious. I mean, like, yeah, we wouldn't have been able to show him hit the ground, but
yeah, it's
um,
Oh
gnarly.
man.
but I remember back in the day, like seeing a cartoon death was so rare. I remember there was a Batman
Well,
episode where Batman punches someone off an airplane, and I'm like, that guy definitely died.
Well,
Whatever.
in a weird way, a lot of like Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny,
yes, yes,
a lot of
yes.
Yeah,
those cartoons, it is almost like they're immortal, continuously fighting forever,
yeah, yeah,
but never dying. But like
yeah,
it's like they're dying and they're in pain, but they can't die.
That's
It,
the
yeah.
it's a weird comparison, but
It's the but like when I worked on Bye Bye Bunny, which was supposed to be a direct to streaming feature Looney Tunes, we were watching a ton of Looney Tunes for like inspiration and the old
Mhm.
ones as well. And there were so many what I'm just trying to find the word that people say now to not get YouTube booted, but like
a
uh
sewer slide,
yeah, yeah, sewer
Yeah,
slide jokes in there.
riding the sewer slide.
I've
Yeah.
heard
And
slip and slide. I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
and it was, I don't know, I think they're funny, but yeah, I guess I get it that you can't show it anymore, but it was just like,
Yeah.
man, like, because it's just like it's the, I don't know,
There's
it's
so much of
free.
that. There's so
There's
much
so
slip
much
and
of it.
slide jokes in old
Mm-hmm.
Looney Tunes. It's wild. It's pretty wild. And
It's so
at the same
crazy.
time, because I grew up with that stuff, and that stuff never, I'm not sure if it had any negative effects. I don't,
No, I just remember as a child
yeah.
mimicking when, you know, when Bugs Bunny takes the blindfold and puts it on and goes on the train tracks and
Yeah.
lights up a
Yeah,
cigarette.
yeah,
I still think it's hilarious. And I'm like, when something is too much,
Yeah.
as a kid I would like mime that. I would like put a blindfold and
Yeah,
like
it's tragic. I mean, they're playing
yeah,
off of that sort of almost like,
it's funny.
I would say, some sort of European sensibility of like tragedy, like comedic tragedy kind of thing.
yeah. I've
Right.
resigned myself to this fate.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. It's like, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
Um,
Fatalism kind of thing.
mhm,
But when you watch it, you're not taking it seriously. You're not. You're
yeah. So
you're
now,
you're obviously this is like meant to be like a play, like Shakespeare or whatever, sort of a joke. Um,
when
or
you had your idea for Jesus 2, which was kind of based off this like picture you drew, you tried to pitch it, didn't go anywhere, and
yeah,
then you were like, I want to work on this animatic because I want to put something out in the world that I'm excited about and I want to see.
yeah.
What was kind of your next steps?
Well, I had it and just on my computer, and I would watch it over and over again, and then I would be like, okay, I don't know what to do with this because it's just a animatic.
Yeah.
And then I showed it to Penn Ward, the Adventure Time creator, Penn,
Mm-hmm.
and I showed it to Tom Herpick, also Adventure Time storyboarder,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know who to show it to. And so I just sent it to those guys, being like, "Is this any good?" And Penn wrote me back, and he really encouraged me, and he said, he thought it was like my best. He was like, "This is your best thing," or whatever. And I'm like,
Oh,
what?
that's so sweet. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. So then, and then Tom also was super encouraging, and he was like, "You need to do something with this." And so I I talked to my manager about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "I don't know. This thing is unpitchable. I don't think I can get this made anywhere." I've tried. I tried talking to Netflix about it. I tried pitching at Cartoon Network. I tried pitching it to, I forget, some other people I talked to a little bit about it in its early stages. I had talked to Adult Swim, and
But that was before you had made it yourself, right?
it's so murky. This thing has gone through so many stages of me talking and thinking about it that I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I just know I was talking to people about it. I even talked to a Japanese like Science Saru about it, if you know those guys.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's what's his name? Yuasa Studio?
Yeah, Masaki
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yuasa's studio.
Whoa.
And I was like, what if I did this through Japan and then just let them run with it and try to re-import it back to the US in Japanese packaging so
Yeah.
that so people will accept it as a new idea instead of,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
It's like your mind game,
yeah, it
that
was
you.
my mind game. Like, does that make sense to you guys, what I just said?
Yeah,
Like,
that makes
It's
sense.
it's
it's
Yeah.
like,
such a it's such a convoluted strategy, but it is a
yeah,
strategy. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for some reason, a lot of American studios just accept like, oh, this crazy experimental Japanese animation that people like in a cult way, like cool.
Yeah,
But like if it's done here, it's like that we can't make that.
we
Well,
can't make that, but if it comes from Japan, somehow you can, you
well,
know?
because it's a lot of time they're looking at something coming from Japan and they're like, oh, that's cheap, so we can buy this. So, I mean,
Okay.
that's the reality. Is like they're like,
Well,
um,
also, I think that, I don't know, I think the audiences are more receptive to 2D animation coming from Japan, maybe.
oh, because they like associate it with quality.
Yeah, they associate it with like cool, it has like a cool factor or something that Western, I don't know, especially when it comes to anything like feature length. Like,
Mm.
this is something I've been trying, because I'm trying to make feature films and stuff. And Western 2D feature film, like, who gets to make that? That doesn't even, when does that even happen? But it happens in Europe and it happens in Japan.
Yeah, because the
Um,
budgets are so much lower.
yeah.
They
Yeah, but they won't even let me make a super low budget, or anybody
yeah.
make a super low budget Western, like,
I think it's
US.
just because the way the production systems are set up. I mean, this is a cool thing to bring up, and I mean, we don't have to
Mhm.
spend a ton of time on it, but I think in the US, because of the way the studios are set up, where they would rather bet a big sum of money for a
Mhm.
big reward. They're not interested in making small bets and getting
Right.
small rewards, because for them it's like
Yes.
it's a waste of time. It's not an
Yeah.
investment that they're
Yeah.
interested in, because they're like, well, I could, for the same amount of time, I could just put more money and get like $200 million back instead of just getting like $8 million back.
Yeah, I could see like an A20 in the future, an A24 animation production doing something weird.
I hope so.
But it is like, yeah, it's rare. It's rare. It's almost like you have to make the thing and find a weird place for it, and then it gets a following, and then someone's like, oh, I guess people do like it. Like, okay, we'll buy it for cheap or whatever.
Yeah, I could see those. I could see those glitch people like eventually working their way up to making feature film stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it. I didn't think my social media following was enough for me to Kickstarter anything, like, because I needed like a lot of money to make an 8-minute short film.
Tell us what you imagined back then and how much it turned out to be? Are you comfortable sharing the numbers?
I thought I could do it. I thought I did. I met a producer. Well, actually, I knew this producer, Casey, who do you know Casey, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah, over at Starburns, because he had tried to help me make a show over at Starburns a while ago, and I was like, hey, Casey, like, would you be interested in helping me make an independent short? And he was like, yeah. And then he suggested me some other people to work with also. And then we put together a rough budget, and then we thought, okay, maybe we could do this for $150,000.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to raise $150,000. And I think at max I could raise like 25,000 to 50,000 on Kickstarter, if I really ran a good campaign. Based on what I'd seen other people doing on Kickstarter, trying to do independent animation projects, I was seeing like numbers around 30,000, between 30,000 and 60,000 for people who were in my same, like, whatever, peers, people who were working on Nickelodeon shows, working on, they had names, they had, whatever, people who had worked on Clarence or whatever. I was like, I think I'm in that boat, so I don't think I could hit above that number. Maybe like if there was something that really hit like some nerve in people, something I could never predict. The people like the theme of it or whatever. But I'm a niche guy. I don't know if I'll ever be a guy that, that maybe by chance I'll hit upon a theme that people are like, this is it. This speaks to a whole generation, whatever, But I'm not counting on that ever happening.
You don't think you're a Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, or even
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, or even the people like Critical Role or whatever. Those people who, you know what I mean? Who they're like, we have a D&D podcast, and then all of a sudden we just made whatever, however
I do want to say that I think that it's cool that when you don't know what to do, you find people who are knowledgeable about that thing and you approach them. You've said 3 so far, that I mean maybe even 4 including your manager, just like showing it to people that have experience doing the thing to try to figure out different avenues. And that's good advice for anybody. Find someone who knows what they're doing, who's willing to give you some input.
Right. So I got input. So what happened? So this was around 2021. And I talked to my manager, and my manager's like, okay, I'll ask around, basically. So my manager works for like a big management company, and he has lots of associates. So then he comes back to me and he's like, hey man, I've got an idea. There's this guy I know who also works at my company who's a big crypto bro. You should have a meeting with him. So then I was like, okay. I didn't know anything about this stuff. The only thing I had ever heard about crypto was that years ago, do you know the animator David O'Reilly?
Oh, yeah.
He was like, you should buy Bitcoin. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And that sounds crazy. So I didn't. I don't know how much Bitcoin David bought, but this was like 15 years ago.
Doing okay now.
Yeah,
oh my god, score.
Yeah. So anyway, so I didn't know anything about that whole world, and then I had a meeting with this dude Drew, who was another manager at the same company, and he was like, "Hey, like
Crypto Drew."
Crypto Drew.
Mm-hmm.
So Drew was like, I know these people that could set you up who could help you sell NFTs to raise the money to make your film. And at this point, I was like, I didn't know even what that was really. I was like, is that the digital drawing? Is that guy Beeple or whatever? You know, I had seen like
there's one person doing it, and it's people.
I was like, I don't know what all that stuff is. It looks like trash to me, and I was like, But then I was like, I don't know how else I'm gonna raise this money, so I'll take a meeting.
Right.
And so I took a meeting with the guys. I ended up for the next 2 years talking to lots of crypto bros, and somehow working the hardest I have ever worked in my life, and I made NFTs, and I raised $150,000 to make a short film.
Shit, man.
That's crazy.
And this was right in the tail end of all that stuff. So I was watching the market like on all those NFTs like crashing while I was like, it was like Indiana Jones, like when he grabs his hat, like from the, because all the value of all this stuff was like going down the toilet while I was like, I just need like $10,000 more to fucking cover this budget. And then, because I sold NFTs in phases over the course of 2 years while making these things. And I ruined my health for like, I was working on these NFTs 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for like 2 years straight. Like I don't know how to explain how hard I worked on these things. And I probably could have just, I don't know, there probably could have been a way, that amount of work, I probably could have done something else and raised the money, I guess. But I was like
made one huge painting and sold that for $150,000. Yeah.
It's hard to break into that world though, the high art, like collecting world. I have a friend who tried to do that. It's tough, and so I kind of understand not pursuing that route. But but you've done tabling and conventions and stuff. You've never been interested in making merch or stuff like that of your stuff?
To me, I had made prints and sold them online and things like that. I made my tarot deck, sold it online. All that stuff, all of it, I broke even or lost money on.
Oh, interesting. Stuff. Okay.
Like my tarot deck that I sold, I probably lost money on that.
Oh fuck! Is it because it was just so expensive to get made?
And expensive to make. Shipping is crazy. I didn't want to charge too much for them. I got ripped off by my printer for $7,000. That was a whole other thing. And then I didn't have the money to.
You should have had someone read your tarot cards before you. So you knew that someone was going to trick you.
So Matthew over at Heavy Manners helped me after I got ripped off by this printer. He covered for me, and he was like, "I'll pay for half the cost. We'll split 50-50.
Oh, that's a great dude. Yeah, Matt's awesome. All that kind of
stuff. Yeah. And so, Matt saved my butt. I literally this dude, the dude who was printing my deck, he was going through custody battle or something.
Oh my God, no fucking way.
That's and he just took my money to pay for child support or something. I don't know what happened. He took me out to dinner once to explain to me what was going on. I was like, sounds like your life is really crazy. And I'm sorry, but I also need.
I'm sorry, but I have to take the child now. I own the child. I still own $7,000 of this child. I own.
So anyway, I've never been able to, for me, it's always been work a job, save up enough money to pay for. My whole life is work a job, save money, spend all my money to make something that I actually wanted to make, and then do that, repeat until. I'm in real trouble with money, which is
that's so dismal. That's so. I mean, Yeah.
But it is cool though that you get to make the shit you want to make though. I feel like that not a lot of people do that. That's something that like I personally struggle to find the time for, because having a job and working on your personal stuff, I mean, it is sort of possible, but it is crazy.
That's why I like to take time off between gigs as much as possible. Although, back keeping on Adventure Time, I would say I need this and this amount of months off so I can work on my comics and stuff, or whatever. Like always trying to have my own time where I'm like just working off of my savings, just like eating through my savings so that I have time to make my own things. And the Jesus 2 thing was the biggest version of that for me.
I feel like all artists should be paired with like a little businessman familiar.
Dude,
and we're symbiotically tied.
I've thought about this recently because I was like, because the Glitch people, the main guy of Glitch, like the head of Glitch, he's a business guy. He's not an artist. He's a business guy, and it's like, ugh, if only I don't know, that's the partnership that we need. I've been thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, we have to we have to start figuring out, like, in the same way that the birds feed from the hippo's mouth and he doesn't chomp them, and there's like this relationship that's developed over the thousands of years. Like, I feel like we need to start cultivating that, like start having play dates, like here's my artist kid and your little business child.
Well, I ended up having to, because the short went over budget, so I ended up having to put like 20,000 of my own money into it or whatever to be able to complete it. And I'm still paying for stuff. Like, I did a remix, like I did a 5.1 surround sound mix, like that, or whatever, things like that. Just like always, I found this mistake, because I still haven't put it online yet. So there's always still a chance to keep tweaking it a little bit.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You gotta just put it online. Stop tweaking it and putting more 20,000s in it.
People are gonna watch it on their phone anyway.
Well, okay, we've talked about this. I
know. So Justin and I, we were both at San Diego Comic-Con because we went to present our cartoons shorts alongside Nick Edwards, who also was on the podcast prior, Louis Zong, who's also on the podcast, and was there somebody else? I feel like there's somebody
Louis Zong.
Yeah, Louis Zong, Nick. No, I guess that was all of us then.
Yeah, just us four.
I just went on this big rant about that. I think we need to think about.
I wanted to talk to you about this. I think about this all the time. I'm obsessed with it. Because you were sort of talking about your short that you made for Cartoon Network. For the cartoons. And you were like, I didn't care about my backgrounds because it's going to be on a phone. People are going to watch it on the phone. And then I watched your short for the first time at the Comic-Con and on a big screen. A huge screen in front of like 600-700 people, and the backgrounds looked beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but there's not that
your
many.
standards are just too low.
Or
wait,
but
too high?
That's the trick. It's the trick with the short is that there's really not that many backgrounds. There's actually surprisingly few backgrounds. There's a ton of color cards. So I would say 2/3 of it's easily 2/3 of the short are color cards, and I think, if I remember correctly, because we have a bus, we have an interior kitchen, which is reused, just recolored, but it's the same kitchen. One bedroom, one bathroom, one classroom, one locker, one exterior school. No, 2 exterior school, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, if your aesthetics are dialed in, and your style is dialed in, it doesn't have to be a lot of backgrounds or whatever. There's an economy there, but also I felt like the whole weekend you were talking like you didn't give a shit. It's just going to be on a phone.
And all the background artists were like they're hearing you talk about, like, you don't even need backgrounds. Art don't even matter. And the background artist, like, one little tear shines down their face.
I'm very much, listen, I love our exec on these shorts. I love him so much, and I would love to work with him again. but I think he got a little anxious about the way my short looked, and I was like, no, it's good, it's good to go, it's perfect. Like that's where it's like, that's why I was saying people are gonna look at it on their phone, and nobody cares. Like nobody cares if you have extra light, extra shadow, extra blur, or
Well,
whatever.
okay, I will say they don't know what's not there if there's
Yes.
nothing to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why everything I do, I'm like, I say B plus. That's my motto for myself, so that I don't go down the hole, and like never know when to stop. Because yes, animation is about being able to hit deadlines. Like a huge part of animation is knowing when to stop and move on to the next thing. And there can always be an extra thing you do to work a thing to death. And so I'm totally down with the like this idea of whatever. My mantra for me is B plus. I'm like, oh, do I give this a B plus? Okay, now I'm moving on to the next background.
Well, you also have to consider like executives, especially with animation, are so used to talking about animation in terms of like there was an executive that I was talking to the other day who refers to if a cartoon has thin lines and one shadow pass, it's premium animation. Like, oh, that's premium animation. So I could have the most well animated, beautiful thing ever, and the lines are thicker, and they're like, that's not premium animation.
What do they think of Genndy Tartakovsky's stuff then? Because his stuff
then they probably don't think it's premium.
Interesting.
Yeah, they probably not. I mean, maybe because like if you look at something that looks more painterly and is very moody and cinematic, they're probably a little bit more likely to be like, that's, you know, like if there's a person on the thing whose job it is to be the colorist and design all the colors and make it look painterly and cinematic, like more than likely they're going to be like, that's more expensive. But those are the terms that these guys are talking with, and at the end of the day, like there's plenty of shows in the past and there's plenty of amazing cartoons now that like have very deliberate, simple styles, and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is like always a battle, especially for people who like, you know, who've or have worked a lot in the like kids animation,
right?
And we've got this like stink on us or something that, you know, because we want stuff to look good and or whatever, or I don't know. I've done viz dev for adult shows and stuff, and they've had to tell me to, you know, they've said make it uglier, make these characters look like kids show characters,
you know,
stuff like that.
Unfortunately, for the longest time I was like, I don't understand why. And then I did my smalls with my friend Sam. We did our smalls High Moon Queen, and the characters are really cute. They look kind of like cartoon kids cartoons characters.
Yes.
And we got a comment on one of those where someone was like, oh, this is like grooming kids, because it's very like sexual, like innuendo jokes. And so people were just like, oh, that's grooming. So
those people that's like mental illness. That's like, if you think that and you're willing to say that online, you need to go to a doctor. Like, that's insane shit. That's fucking crazy.
But I guess what I was gonna say is that, like, I think they don't even want to have that problem. You know what I mean? They want it, like, I feel like the networks are just like, we don't want to deal with this, make them ugly, so children don't want to watch these cartoons. Which is crazy because when you think about
kids
South
want to
Park,
watch ugly stuff too.
Like
I love ugly stuff. I love ugly. I mean, I'm definitely drawn towards ugliness, you know. So I get both things, but I love both. I love beautiful stuff. I love ugly stuff, and
you know, it's not a visual comment, but I got a comment on one of the videos recently in my Bodyhead series. That was it's cool that this feels like a child's cartoon for adults. And I was like, I think there's been a long time where I've felt a little self-conscious about that. Like I make stuff that isn't quite accepted like as adult enough or something by executives. But that was the first time that a comment like that, like I like smiled. Like I was like, oh, that's cool. Hell yeah. Like that someone liked that it felt like that.
But I feel like what's crazy though is that like your style, sure, people could argue that it looks like a kid's cartoon, but the themes in your cartoons and comics are like obviously adult, and not even just that like you have characters doing like mature things, but also just like philosophical themes and like just themes that are kind of opaque.
Yeah, my cartoons are known for philosophical themes.
Sean, your philosophy. No, but yeah, I was just bringing that up because it's like I feel like the themes are like just not that, like they stand out for being adult themes.
Yeah, I think a part of it is because it's like adult stuff happening, but the characters are naive, or the characters like are allowed to do cute things, or the characters are allowed to be sensitive, as opposed to just being like stone cold adult. Like it's almost like, hey, who are these imposters that think they're adults? That's sort of like a lot of my main characters are kind of like that. When you were writing your characters in your cartoon, were there times where you were thinking about like, am I making an adult thing? Am I like are you thinking about a demographic? Are you just thinking about like, I want to make something cool for myself? Like, how do you think about when you write your characters or even design your characters?
I think I'm thinking about what do I relate to? Like, is this a moment that's feels like I've felt this before, you know? And if it's something I've felt before, I've experienced at least on some level, and then I try to elevate it or whatever, or exaggerate it or something. That can be a thing that happens, you know, to adults, or it could be a thing that happens to kids or whatever. On Adventure Time, it was always writing stuff that I was just pulling from like what we said before, like core memories and stuff like that, and also from things happening in my life at that time, and then just translating that to a kid character, and his buddy.
Do we have a few listener questions?
We do. Let's pepper in some of them. We might not get to all of them just because let's get this first quick one from Newgrounds. Fenton Arcade asks, what are your thoughts on snacking while doing work? It's just funny.
I snack all the time while I'm doing work.
Hell yeah. This is a conversation. When we're not talking about art, I'm trying to be outside of work talking about snacks. Let's talk about it.
Snack is a major part of keeping my eyes open while I'm, I go for walks. Well, today I actually went, this is terrible, but I went down to the donut shop that's like next to the laundromat in Echo Park, and I got a bear claw and an Celsius energy drink, and that's like sugar and taurine or whatever.
Breakfast. Sugar breakfast.
I've been on a crazy donut problem.
I mean, I am impressed that you got one donut. I think that I will say, don't be too hard on yourself. You got one donut. And there is worse things. There's worse amounts of donuts.
I could have gotten 6 donuts.
You could have gotten 6.
Yeah. No, I have a serious snack problem. Like I get sugar cravings while I'm working. And I'll go to the coffee shop and I'll go down to the boba place and get like a sugary drink or what else do I like? Sometimes I've been trying to, I'll try to eat something healthy instead, like grapes or whatever.
Yeah.
So shout out to grapes. If you're listening, grapes, sponsor the podcast.
Grapes are nature's dessert,
Have you had cotton candy grapes?
Oh,
those shits are fucking blow my mind. I don't understand.
Cotton candy grapes are great.
Grapes.
But I'm a Celsius boy, and
Nice.
V, do you snack when you work?
Honestly,
what's your snack? What
I went through so many phases, but I feel like now, because I figured out that my migraines can be treated with a lot of salt and caffeine. My perfect snack.
Snack
Yeah,
renaissance.
dude, I'm like, I allow myself to eat all the salt and I eat chips.
Yes, dude.
Just the chips.
Yeah,
Just
you've given yourself
maximum
permission.
Salt.
You've written yourself that
Do you
permission,
like,
so handed it to the teacher. Yeah.
Do you like electrolyte powders and stuff? Do you ever do that?
That's mostly what I drink now. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with my body, but I feel like I'm just like dehydrated all the time. So I have like I think my take, because I did try all of the electrolytes, or most of them. Tastiest one, still Gatorade. Gatorade.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like Ultima. That's my favorite.
I haven't tried that one actually.
Damn, that sounds like a car thing.
Yeah, Ultima. You can get at Whole Foods, and it's 0 calories, and it tastes like strawberry lemonade. And
I think that's my problem. That also sounds. I hate the taste of artificial sweeteners.
Okay. Yeah. This one I don't notice. Yeah. This one tastes. It tastes as good as what's the one, Liquid IV?
Liquid IV.
Yeah.
Really? No.
I don't like the stevia.
That stuff is like crack for me.
Really? That's funny.
When you said Ultima, I thought it sounds like one of those things where you set up like dragging my balls on your face or whatever, like dragon. Yeah. Oh, Ultima shit in your mouth. Or, I don't know. Like, I'm on my first like healthy snack kick that I've ever been on, because I usually don't give a fuck about healthy snacks, but recently mixed nuts and dried mangoes and just alternating.
Yeah. I mean the dried mangoes from the juicy dried mangoes from Trader Joe's. Have you had those?
Are those the ones with a little spice on it? Is that the ones you're talking about?
It's just like not fully dehydrated, so there's still like this juiciness in this inside. Those are like the ultimate.
I have a pack of those that is like covered in like tahini.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, seaweed snacks recently, like salted or like teriyaki seaweed snacks.
So good. I eat them like I can eat so many of them.
You know what I used to do was my favorite snack ever was, speaking of tahini, is I would take tahini, like 50% tahini, it was like 20 to 80% tahini to honey, mix it up, and then I get dates, and I dip dates in that.
Dates.
Yeah. Dates are good.
I'm not going to lie, when I've never been able to eat dates ever since I learned about how the wasps thing.
What?
Oh, they go in there?
But it's only a certain type of date. I don't even think it's the normal dates that we eat, but there are hornets or whatever, or wasps whose whole life cycle is based around crawling in a date, laying eggs and dying.
Oh my god.
And that dates grow around the body, and it's not, and I don't think it's the dates that we eat. There is just a wasp that does that, and ever since then I've always been like,
you can't do it.
I can't. Well, with pistachios, you know how every once in a while there's a pistachio that tastes like shit? It's a bug.
Yeah. Oh, really? Now I know. Oh, god damn it, I eat so many of those. Well, proteins, just extra protein.
Yeah, it's just extra protein. But yeah, I mean, I have to, when I eat one of those, I have to just flick a switch in my mind, and I'm like, I'm on Survivor, or like I'm on Alone, and I'm surviving in the wilderness, and I'm eating grubs and earthworms. I'm Bear Grylls.
I had a buddy who was super into eating like locust and stuff.
Dude, I've been waiting. Listen, I've been sold. Have I talked about this on the podcast before? Where I've been sold, probably close to at least 6 years ago, probably 8, that we were gonna get bug patties because it was going to be the only sustainable source of protein, and I've been waiting, and I don't see any progress being made.
I've been DIY patties. Making them in the meantime, and it's such a pain. It takes so many bugs to make a patty. So if you're listening, big bug industry,
come through. I've been waiting. I've been waiting, big bug industry. No, I'm not even joking, because I'm like, I'm vegetarian, but I would eat bugs. because you know I'm like I'll make an I make an exception
Okay.
for merchants.
We're gonna do a creative block episode where you're gonna listen to us try a bunch of bugs. Like, I know you're not gonna be able to see us, but
I think you can buy
audio
like
only
grasshoppers and stuff. You can eat.
Yes, those are good because they're crispy.
Yeah.
The grasshoppers and some of the worms are crispy as well, so those are fine. But I want a full. I don't want just a little dried bugs. I want them in a patty that I can put in a burger.
That place Night Market. You know that place Night Market, the Thai place. On Sunset. They sell a dish that's like grubs, I think.
I think I just don't want it to be in grub form. I want it to be mixed.
I think like sushi, like I want it to be fresh, and I know that they probably have to ship it all the way across. Like if it were locally caught grubs that are fresh the way sushi is, like maybe. But I'm just gonna need. I want to know like okay, this grub came out of a log in Silver Lake. You know what I mean?
Say when I was in China for 3 weeks back in 2011, and I went with my friends, and we ended up eating in a restaurant that served the silkworms in the chrysalis.
Yeah.
So you could get those. And
how was that?
Wait, you did you eat a chrysalis?
Yes, I did eat one of the not chrysalis, but a cocoon. It was a cocoon because it's like made out of silk, right?
Yeah.
And so
you ate the silk?
My friend and I would both, because she got like one of those skewers, and so there was like 3 or something on them, and all the Chinese students we were with were like, "No, you can't get that. That's so nasty." But we had to do it, and
did it feel like eating a shirt? Like it's silk.
It's so, and so what we I bit in it, like in the half of it, and so the exterior was crunchy, but the interior was liquid. And it was the most bitter thing and it was the most bitter thing I ever ate. And I was like, okay, I wouldn't eat that one again. Not
gusher nasty style. Hell yeah.
That one do not recommend.
Why do I feel like eating a chrysalis would give you some sort of power? I don't know.
Yeah, it starts to transform you if you eat enough.
Yeah.
That's to be continued.
Yeah, if you collected like 1,000 chrysalis goos, like, and took a bath in it, would you start to transform? Because I mean, it transforms the bug.
Maybe your body also starts to liquefy, and you become one with the juice. You don't know. It's like The Fly. Yeah, not the movie.
Well, all these billionaires drinking little kid blood, I feel like their mind is in the wrong place. Like you want to find 1,000 bug goos, take a bath in it, and then chrysalis yourself.
I'm sure it does something good for your skin, at least.
Yeah, like grow 100 wings on it or something. Yeah.
Do we want to do one last question before we run off? Our patron Psitekis is asking, what are you planning to do with Jesus 2 after its festival run? Will it be posted to YouTube?
I think so. I originally planned on putting it up on YouTube, but I'm in the middle of a contract negotiation with a streaming company that maybe wants to buy it or something.
Can you say who, or is it like NDA?
I don't think I've signed an NDA. I don't think I've signed anything with them, but I've been in contract negotiations for like a year and a half or something.
Damn,
it's crazy.
Just shows how long this stuff takes. Yeah,
it's at company Animation Plus.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be them. I just wanted to know if it was going to be them.
I don't know. Yeah, supposedly I'm at the end of my negotiations with them. So, but I think actually what they might do is they might have the rights to stream it for like 90 days or something.
It's like a licensing thing, kind of.
I think they might license it, and then I can put it up on YouTube or something.
That's cool.
Oh, very cool.
I think it can only help it. Like gaining a YouTube, like it blowing up on YouTube or something, I feel it can only help. Like, it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's scary, though.
Yeah. What if nobody cares about it on YouTube, you know?
I feel like you have, what I would say is before you launch something on YouTube, you have to hype it up like crazy. And you have to make like almost, because that's something I noticed with a lot of friends, animation friends, who put something up on YouTube and they just like pray that it will do well. It's like, no, you have to actually.
Can I lie and say that I'm a student at Gobelin and it's my senior film?
No, stop.
Yeah, it'll just blow up automatically.
I was a student at Gobelin and my short didn't blow up. So
okay.
What I'm saying
Did
is,
you
like,
title it right? Student film Gobelin.
Yeah.
It was back
Gobelin, comma V.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you do make a thing where like you get a bunch of people excited for the premiere, like you could even send like a party for or something, or like an invite somewhere, and like you actually like drum up the hype, because the algorithm looks at how many people watch it at the beginning.
Okay.
So yeah.
What also, one little thing that we've been learning, we've been talking about this, is if you can take just the fastest little clip of the craziest stuff that happens in it, and as soon as the video starts, have it go with crazy stuff, and then goes to black, and then the short starts. Like you're gonna catch people's attention in a way that for some reason works on Instagram and TikTok and all that shit.
Even
can I pay you guys to be my consult team on the premiering?
I mean, I'll do it for free, but
yeah, dude, we
can pay us money. Sure, give me $dollars.
We're releasing little vertical snippets, I think, beforehand that just say like it's about to drop, kind of thing. Is good. It's
It's something interesting that I've noticed that a lot of big YouTube people do, especially podcasts, but any kind of other, even like more like traditional storytelling, they'll clip, it's like a mini trailer, they'll clip one of the most important part of the thing, and they just clip it for just like probably 3 to 10 seconds, and then they start the video, and I'm like, yeah, it does make sense, because it's like you have to tease them, and then they get this time for them to decide whether or not they want to invest like however many minutes in the video, and I'm like,
yeah, because my short starts slow.
Yeah, so you really gotta make the first minute count. But it doesn't have to be the full first minute. You can just do like the first.
I have a habit of always wanting to do long establishing shots on everything I do.
And that's totally fine. But I think that having a little, just like 3 shots that are crazy at the beginning that just are a sample of what's to come. I think sometimes I feel like it feels a little cheap playing into that, but I think it's worth it. Like when you're putting something on YouTube like that, imagine like you are orchestrating a gallery show. You want to make sure that the gallery is right. You want to make sure it's prepped. You want to make sure that there's some advertisements, because you worked so hard on the thing.
Yes.
And so just I think that it's really worth it to just take some time and make sure that the launch pad is ready, and that people are going to be looking. You could even put a countdown on the video, like for 24 hours, it's counting down for the premiere. Like you could have a watch party. I definitely
think like a party film invite, even if it's an online thing, like just stuff so that it's on people's calendar, they remember, like it gets some hype before the release.
There's also some streamers who they focus on watching films and talking about movies and films and stuff. I know a few that having people react to it could be good. Like you know, there's all sorts of avenues that you could pick to like kind of find a way to hype it up in the right, or finding people that could write up an article. There's it's not hopeless, and it's daunting, especially when you work so hard on something. But
I was making little, not to drag, I know you probably got to bounce, but I was making little for a while I was making little animatic shorts, like vertical shorts on YouTube. And it was interesting to see like what your brain starts to recognize, like things you're doing that like immediately catch attention, things you're doing that don't.
Yes.
And even though some of it can be random, but I was like, oh, if I open with a creepy image, that's like almost like a horror sting, people will stay watching.
Yes.
And then if I try to do like a intro, like a thing, some of the shorts I made that I'm the most proud of that are more like indie film sort of thing.
Yeah, they're like artful.
Yeah, people were like, it would get like 100 views or something, and then the thing where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna suck him in with this like Freddy Krueger moment, like, you know, that would get like 10,000, you know, whatever. So yeah, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I was trying not to actually let it, but it is interesting, like a psychological sort of study on what
for sure
what captures people's attention.
Today I reposted an old short and I chopped out my whole beginning of the short, and the short is now just the most exciting part, and I posted it, and automatically it's doing better than the first time I posted it. So I don't know. I think that it's worth like even for something like this, the idea of having your main version that's untouched and regular, and then having other little portions of it that are exciting that you can use to tease it or hype it up. I think that you know.
But then there's also stuff like Angel's Egg or something, you know, where people just love Angel's Egg, and it's it's like one of the slowest animated features you could ever watch. You know, it's just got vibes basically.
Don't ever discard the kind of visual audio media you can put on at a party. I can get all of views.
100%. Yeah. I think regardless, it's beautiful. I'm excited for people to see it, and I think it's really cool that you made it and that you struggled through all these hardships to try to get it made. It speaks volumes to how important it is to you, and yeah, I guess we can wrap it up, VEE.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We went pretty long.
That's the end of this creative vlog. Jesse, thanks for being our guest and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. Good talking.
Of course. Is there anything that you want to plug?
My Patreon. That's where I post all my behind the scenes process stuff. I write essays that I would never post publicly on there. And you know, that's like the secret to the temple or whatever.
Like access 5-paragraph persuasive essays?
Yeah. No, just like thoughts on art and stuff. Thoughts on, sometimes I post little sloppy essays on, you know, art criticism and things like that. Things I just don't feel comfortable saying out loud, because, you know, we live in a small world of comics and animation, and sometimes even having just like an opinion about color palettes can bother people.
That's funny.
You know, whatever. Just like someone's like, "Hey, that's the color palette I use." Hey, fuck you, dude. You know, whatever. You know, and I have a problem. But it's like, you know, all this stuff is subjective. Like art criticism is subjective, which is why I usually don't feel comfortable talking about my tastes. Usually, like out loud, like in public. Because it is subjective, and there is no really good or bad anything. Really, there's just what internally you resonate with. But I do have things I resonate with and do not resonate with, and sometimes I want to talk about it privately amongst people who pay me $5 a month.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know?
Well, there is, in my opinion, there is a definitive good, and that is our listeners. Follow us on social media at CRTV Block, where we ask for drawing prompts and questions to ask our guests. Huge thanks to our editor, Clements, for editing the podcast, Marco for helping us produce the show, and Ibuka for creating the short clips that we've putting out. And guess what? On Patreon, we've been putting up sloppy little essays. And if you want a little taste of those essays, I'm just kidding. We actually don't do that, but we're going to now. So follow our Patreon. We're going to dedicate an essay. We're going to talk about Jesse in a sloppy little essay.
Yeah, you can talk about how my old work is better.
You love our show.
And that you should have been fired from Adventure Time.
Sorry. Yes.
Click the link in the description of this episode to find our Patreon and Jesse's socials. I've been your host, VEE.
And I've been interrupting. Keep being creative, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.